cutting through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture, films, and the world we see. Deleted scenes, where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties and views to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Coming Attractions for July 30th, 2026. I want to start off by saying hello to everyone currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to say hello to a few people who have joined us here in the live chat. My co-host on the Mystery Movie Night podcast, Enigma Severus. My partner in crime, the toxic gunslinger himself, the man who cannot be killed, the CEO of the Outlaw Bill Sports Network, host and creator of Western Cinema Presents After Hours Karaoke and Action Theater, Outlaw Bill. Faithful Blue Wrench, the bird woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's kind of Clary. Host of Friday Night Last Call, co-host of Geeky Geezers, host of Liquid Lunch. My co-host on Live from Sparkwood 21, channel member Troy Petchelli. And, of course, his better half, the host of Thursday Things, Natters Network. All right, and thank you, Netter and Troy, for the raid. Of course, Thursday Things just completed with England Tyne from I Love Comics as the guest for that program. Now, I was mentioning in the chat, and everybody kind of had their story, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into mine, was that my original collection from back in the 70s when I was still a kid, and basically my mother was friends with this woman who ran a flea market that was on the corner of our street, and she had like this, I guess, teenage, maybe early 20s aged son who, like me, was into comics. Long story short, basically he wound up taking my collection, and I wound up with nothing. You know, and my dad, being my dad, especially at that particular time, was, well, you know what, let that be a lesson to you. You were stupid, and now you lost all your comic books. Congratulations, well done, kid. Which wasn't entirely wrong, but still. But really, in the end, the only one that I really hated losing was G.I. Joe number 47. And this is, of course, the Larry Hama G.I. Joe 47 from back in the day. And to kind of explain, the issue is basically one long battle scene that focuses mostly on Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. And you think with, Cobra, Snake Eyes would be the Cobra's ninja's name, and Storm Shadow would be the other guy. But that's neither here nor there. The point was, it was part of this like arc of issues, this story arc. And in the middle of this story arc, you have this big battle between G.I. Joe and Cobra. It takes place on this island. And basically, Snake Eyes has, at least for now, if not convinced Storm Shadow to come over to the Joes, at least come over to backing him up. So it's essentially what they're doing. And most of the issue is basically just the two of them kicking ass. It really is. It's really all it is. And this is actually really cool. The whole way that it was sort of, the story of it was structured, and not a whole lot of dialogue, just a lot of action. And of course, you get kind of this betrayal at the end. But to who? Not going to give it away. But I always thought that issue was really cool. And it's the issue that convinced me that G.I. Joe would make a really good movie. No one's been able to do that yet. Apparently, Danny McBride is going to do one. That has me worried. I can't see him doing a G.I. Joe movie. What, you're going to have Seth Rogen play Duke? What the hell? I'm G.I. Joe. So I'm not really, I'm not really enthusiastic about that particular plan. But anyway, G.I. Joe, and hello to Tim. G.I. Joe number 47 became my holy grail. Looked for it for years. Finally found it at this little comic book shop in Somerville, South Carolina called Soundwave. It's still around. Much bigger store now. But back then, it was just like this really tiny place in a strip mall. Kind of cluttered, wall-to-wall stuff. But I found it. And hello to Samuel Proctor. And but anyway, I finally found it. And I have it in my collection, such as my collection is. I don't consider myself an authority on comics at all, but I know a little bit about a little bit. And I'm mostly into the independents anyway, I'm not saying that there's necessarily anything wrong with Marvel or DC. And with the old school stuff, there really isn't. But, just a lot of the modern day stuff just doesn't appeal to me. And, and I know that Connie was saying that she had that issue as well. And, the thing that you have to understand about me is that I don't I don't just dismiss things out of hand. I don't want to give off that impression. It's just that if I know I am not going to like something for whatever the reason might be, you know, I just don't bother with it. You know, this is why I go on and say, like, I'm not here to like do a boycott or anything like that. Boycott, like, this brand of comic books, boycott this movie. I don't do that. I just simply decide, you know what? If I don't want to read it, I don't. If it's a movie I don't want to see, I don't have to. Nothing is written saying that I have to. But when it comes to comics, especially in recent years, I tend to gravitate to the more independent type of stuff. I mean, the closest I come to mainstream anymore is GI Joe. I still get those. Um, but Transformers. That's pretty much about it, really. Um, you know, Occasionally, Batman, if it looks like the storyline's going to strike my fancy, but that's about it. So that's kind of where I am when it comes, and that's why you don't see me necessarily on a lot of comic shows, even though I know people who talk about comics, but I don't. I've been invited on shows like that before, and I always turn it down, not because I don't like the show or like the host, but I feel like there are people in our sphere who are far more qualified to talk about these things than I am. You want to talk about movies, you want to talk about old television shows, certain types of music, I'm your guy. But when it comes to comics, I'm kind of playing catch up a little bit because I was away from it for so long. And I was kind of, because of that situation, kind of turned off the comics for a really long time. So during my formative years, I was watching movies, I was reading books, um, and I kind of stayed away from comics for a number of years, and then kind of fell back into it later on. But I still don't consider myself any kind of. I don't consider myself an expert. I just take everything on like an issue by issue basis, and I go on from there. But basically, that's my holy grail story. Um, was that I was looking for many years for this one comic, and finally found it in basically this little mom and pop comic book store that has grown over the years. And one of these days, I'll go back into my long boxes and look for it, see which one I left it in, and I'll kind of take it out for you and I'll show it to you. But that's going to be in the future, guys. Samuel Proctor says, I was playing catch up when I started reading comics after Endgame ended. All reason for me to keep watching the MCU. Haven't looked back since. Yeah, I lost interest in the MCU kind of after Endgame. I gave what is now referred to as Phase 4 a chance. The films are definitely not on the level that they were. I think what they should have done was they should have left it at Endgame and then just gone away for a bit. Go away 3, 4, 5 years, come up with a plan, and then come back and do the films. Now, Spider-Man, which is a movie I have very mixed feelings about seeing. I think Spider-Man is going to do well. And this is another thing, a movie will, and hello to the Horror King, a movie will rise or fall whether I see it or not. I'm a small issue to it. Spider-Man is going to be a big hit, guys. It doesn't matter if the movie's good. And I've heard kind of mixed things about it so far. I know people who've seen it and liked it. I know some people have some issue with certain things. But it's interesting in the fact that people have they're not like bagging on the same things. Different people either like it or dislike it for different reasons. So that's got me a little bit curious about it. But I'm not in like a big hurry to see it. I think it'll do well though. I know people are throwing around numbers like 800 million opening weekend. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I mean, come on. In this day and age, I don't think that's happening. Will it make that much? For sure. Will it make $1 billion? It probably will. If I'm wrong and it actually does hit 800 million, then it may make 2. I don't know. But my advice would be if the Spider-Man movie is something you really want to see, go see it. Go see it and let me know what you think. If you think it actually is a movie worth my time. Because the runtime, I've heard, is a bit of an issue. It's 2.5 hours. I don't think a Spider-Man movie needs to be 2.5 hours. A solid 2 is fine. When they get lengthy, that's when I start to worry. Bill says he's going on Tuesday. I know. Samuel says, or they could have actually used the X-Men and the Fantastic Four immediately after Endgame. It could have been a consequence of bringing people back from the Thanos snap. 7 years they've bought the Fox-owned characters and have only now started to use them. Yeah. Just going to rewatch The Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man 2 DOG. Yeah. Cool. So yes, that's kind of where I am right now about comics and comic book films, and when you say comic book, most people think superheroes, right? But then or maybe they might think of The Crow, but Road to Perdition was a graphic novel. There are a lot of things and there are a lot of stories that you can tell in comic book form that are not just superheroes. There are so many things that you can do. And I do hope to see people branch out. And this is one of the reasons why I like independence so much, is you get these wide range of stories that find their audience, because they're not all just aimed for one particular group. you get this wide range of stories that can appeal to a wider audience, and that frees you up as well, because you are not, when if you're doing an original comic, you are not chained by the lore you know of something that happened 60 years ago in a comic, um because if you're dealing with major characters like Batman, like Wonder Woman, something like that, there's this lore that you have to stick to and you got to remember. And because if you don't, the fans of those characters are going to call you on it, and rightly so. So I am hoping to see more original comics and original stories, and I feel that way. I feel that kind of the same way about it that I think about film. We need to start seeing more original films again, and not so many, and not so many sequels and remakes and all of this. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, all right, on with the main crux of the show, of course, which is what is coming up this week for the channel. Now, something that I do want to briefly go into, and I'm being very vague about this because I don't understand what the hell's going on with it myself, is that I keep getting these emails from Google telling me that there's some kind of issue going on with ads and it might affect my channel. I don't know. But you know what? Unless somebody tells me something different, I am going to be here and I am going to be broadcasting. So what the first thing that I am going to do is I am going to be on Troy's member stream tomorrow night, which is going to be a karaoke stream, which is probably going to be on Rumble. So join us for that if you're a member and if you're on Rumble. So go over there and become a member over on Troy's channel, and you can check that show out. So that gets us on over to Saturday, where I'm going to be joining Big Al Presents for the next episode of Films with Friends. Let me get that up on the screen for you. Share screen. Okay. All right. So Saturday night at 10 p.m., I will be joining Big Al Presents along with Troy and Netter for Films with Friends. And we are going to be watching the original Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. Yes. A super spy gets defrosted from cryogenic stasis for about 30 years to battle his old enemy, Dr. Evil, who, of course, is also played by Mike Myers. Look, I don't have to tell you about this movie, guys. You know what it is. And it's got some laughs in it. And A little change of pace from what I'm normally involved with. So join us Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, for the next episode of Films with Friends, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. All right. And I do want to remind everybody that next Friday, the 7th, at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be joining Al once again for the Friday night show, and our in memoriam to the late legendary Sam Neill. We're going to be watching also from 1997, Event Horizon. Of course, again, a film you all know. Rather controversial, not for what's in it, but for what got left out. And we're going to be talking about that. And this is Al's first time watching the movie straight through. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what his reaction is going to be. Basically, this ship, the Event Horizon, which is built by Sam Neill's character, goes through a black hole, disappears, reappears 7 years later, and this is the investigation into where the ship has been and what happened to the crew, because the ship is deserted. So looking forward to revisiting this one. I'm a big fan of it. I saw it in the theaters back in the day. Basically, The Shining in space. So check it out, Event Horizon. This is going to be next Friday night, the 7th, at 8 p.m. Films with Friends. And hello to JPRPH1. Just wanted to see that one. Never seen it either. Well, join us on the 7th at 8. And you will get to see the whole thing. And it's only about 95 minutes. So it wastes no time. It cuts to the chase. And since Sal hasn't seen it, I'm going to be kind of the subject matter expert on that one. And I'm going to be talking about the scenes that got left out. I've read Philip Eisner's original screenplay, and it's a little bit different than what you see in the final film. And I'm going to be going into that as well. So really looking forward to that show. That's going to be, once again, Saturday night at 10, Austin Powers. And then Friday night, the 7th, at 8 p.m., Event Horizon. All right. Well, that takes care of Saturday. So let's get on over to Sunday. Over on my channel, and you will find out what is going to go on Sunday. And of course, Sunday will starting a little bit earlier at 4:20 p.m., which is probably going to be apt for this movie. And Western Cinema Presents. Bill and I are going to be watching a Western musical from 1969 called Paint Your Wagon, starring Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin. I have actually never seen this film. I know nothing about it other than I saw a clip of it when I was very young, and I went, nope. But Bill has talked me into it, so I'm going to watch it, guys. I'm going to watch it straight through. I'm going to give it its due diligence. You will get my honest opinion on it. So this is going to be something a little bit different. The idea I'm getting is kind of Oklahoma on weed. So join us 4:20. I see what you did there, Bill. 4:20 Eastern Standard Time Sunday. Western Cinema presents Paint Your Wagon. That, of course, will get us on over to the Sunday night block. Starting at 8 p.m. with the next episode of Unscripted. This is going to be episode 157 that I am entitling The Greater Evil. And, well, I think you can see why. Well, I had two people that I could have talked about this week. But I decided to talk about the guy who's the bigger asshole. But since I couldn't call the episode The Bigger Asshole, I mean, I probably could, but YouTube probably wouldn't like it. I had to go with who I thought was the greater evil. And this is going to be a rant show, guys. And there's going to, let's put it this way. Stephen Colbert is not going to like this episode. James Corden is not going to like this episode. Sean Penn is not going to like this episode, but fuck him. You know, you backed the wrong horse. You backed this guy who got people killed and tore the country apart for a couple of years. And now he's trying to skate out of it. But you can't. Because I see you. And this show is all about exposing people like Fauci. Deal with it. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to agree. This show is my opinion, beginning to end. But sometimes there are problems that go beyond partisan politics, or at least they should. And that's what I'm going to be talking about Sunday night. So join me then. Right after that, of course, at 9 p.m. over on Aged Boomer's channel, will, of course, be the next episode of Geeky Geezers, as he and Troy and honorary Geese at Knitters Network will be discussing The Week in Geek. So join him. You will be redirected from Unscripted to Geeky Geezers. So join him there. Now, as of this week, there's no There's no reserved seats this week. I'm going to take the rest of that night off. I might do something. I don't know. Maybe I might do an unboxing or something. I don't know. But the right now I don't have anything planned for the 11 to 12:30 slot. But the plan is to come back the rest of August. I've already got one person lined up for a show later in the month. But by then, for the rest of August, reserved seats will be back. That's the plan. All right. And then, of course, at 12:30 will be the next over on Troy's channel. And the next episode of Doctor Who, well, next 2 episodes of Doctor Who, because it's part of a 6-episode block. So we'll get to see what those weird moth people are up to. And the guys in the ant seats. All right. So Sunday, that is Western Cinema Presents at 4:20, Unscripted at 8, Geeky Geezers at 9, and Doctor Who at 12:30. All right. Monday is going to be mystery movie night. I understand that it is going to be a horror movie. The consensus among the group seems to believe that it's going to be Ice Cream Man. But the trouble is that does not line up with the time that My Regal is putting up on the website, because Ice Cream Man is 87 minutes, and the fact that they're releasing it unrated, that's interesting. That's why I want to see it. Ice Cream Man is listed as 87 minutes, but Regal is saying the movie is going to be an hour and 44, which is closer to the length that the new Insidious movie is going to be. So we're wondering, are we going to get 2 different movies? Are the AMC people going to get a different movie than the Regal people are getting? So I don't know. No, this is a different Ice Cream Man. This has nothing to do with the Clint Howard movie. This is a completely different storyline. It's just called Ice Cream Man, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the Ice Cream Man comic either. I think that's a different thing as well. But we'll see. And then, of course, we will let you know Tuesday night. The good news is, either way, I'll be back for last call members night at the movies. So once again, if you are a member of Troy Pacelli's channel, you will be you can join us there for that film. All right. Let me get us on over to Tuesday night. For the Mystery Movie Night podcast. And say goodbye to this thumbnail because it's going to be changing here pretty soon. I got to get with Fletcher Williams on it, but we're going to be giving the thumbnail a new look. So stay tuned for that. But the Mystery Movie Night podcast will go at 7 p.m. Tuesday night. So join us there and find out what the movie was and what we thought about it. If we liked it, we're not going to go into spoilers. If we hated it, we're going to spoil the shit out of it. That's what we do. So join us then. It should be a fun one. That, of course, will be followed directly after by the next episode of Live from Sparkwood 21, which is going to be an episode entitled Double Play. It is from, of course, season 2. And I am going to look up the synopsis for that right now. All right. Twin Peaks season 2, Double Play, episode 14 of season 2, which originally ran February 2nd, 1991. Cooper confides Earl's tragic history to Truman. Meanwhile, Audrey makes a business deal with Bobby, and Leo finally snaps out of it. So, yeah, and I'm sure he will wreak some havoc. So, join us tomorrow night. No, not tomorrow night. Tuesday night at 8:30 for the next episode of Twin Peaks. And good night to the Horror King. Take it easy. All right. Right now, I don't. Oh, right. Of course. After that will be after Live Sparkwood 21 at 10 p.m. You will be redirected over to Troy Pacelli's channel for the next episode of the Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. And we're going to be watching the second half of The Eligible Bachelor. So for that season of Sherlock Holmes, they switched to a 2-hour format. So Troy has been dividing those episodes up into in half. So you'll be getting the second half of The Eligible Bachelor. That's going to be Tuesday night at 10 p.m. over on Troy's channel, The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes. As for myself, at present, I don't have anything planned Wednesday. If something comes up between now and then, I'll let you know. All right. And that gets us back around to Thursday. For the next episode of Action Theater. And we are going to be watching the original Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of Black Pearl. Johnny Depp in his Oscar-nominated role as Captain Jack Sparrow. And a movie that, as far as I'm concerned, is still the best of the Pirates films. This one's a lot of fun. Bill's been wanting to do this one for a while, and he decided now's the time. So we're going to be watching Pirates of the Caribbean. This is going to be Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Then, of course, later on that night, 10 p.m., over on Netter's Network. Join Netter and Troy for the next episode of Thursday Things. And then at 11 p.m. that evening, join me right back here, same bat time, same bat channel, for the next episode of Coming Attractions. All right. Well, that is the show for this week. I want to say thank you to anyone who might be following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to thank Troy and Netter for the raid. I want to thank Connie, Bill, the Horror King, Enigma, JPRPH1, Tim, Samuel Proctor, and anybody in the chat who anybody might have been listening in that wasn't in the chat, which is quite all right. You don't have to engage with the chat, just as long as you enjoyed the show. Hit the like, share out the stream. If you're interested in anything that I have coming up, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for notifications. Memberships are available. I just recently lowered the prices for every level, make things a little bit more affordable for the folks. So please feel free to join up, and you will see your name in the credits. So from HQ, in all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Because this is how we win.
Ronin's back, slicing through the noise with a culture attack. Pop culture films in the world we see. Deleted scenes where the truth runs free. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Take care, stay strong, we're breaking the mold. Be safe, stay healthy, let the story unfold. From watch parties, reviews to the news we spin. Deleted scenes, yeah, this is how we win. Yeah. Yeah. Steam it out on your YouTube, bro, let's roll.